तुम्हारे ऑफिस के अंदर रहेगी। Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Good morning. Let me start off with what I have in my mind before we get into the charts. The stock futures are looking higher, but that is probably because many people are saying that the rate will remain the same, but the Fed will give an outlook for rate cuts. I'm not sure if this trumps the Iran-Israel conflict, which has a potential to create a problem with oil prices. Remember when Iraq was bombarded, we had an oil price issue. Same thing might happen because the OPEC Plus is not in a position to fulfill what Iran is producing. So that could be a problem, but it's good for shale gas producers in US and also for the oil sands in Canada. So those two headwinds will be met with these kind of positives for some parts of the industry. So I don't think Fed Chair Powell is going to say anything new. And it's very difficult to predict the future as well because the uncertainty remains. We still don't have a really good grip on the tariffs, how they are going to turn out, what is going to be the minimum tariff. So I think that when the market opens, it's bound to go down. That is my personal feeling. I'd like to hear from you what you guys think. And also, Trump is weighing whether to launch a military strike against Iran. Now, since I am from the subcontinent, I am from originally from India. I paid attention to a piece of information that most people may not. Pakistan Army Chief has been invited for a meeting with Trump. I think this could lead to some money for Pakistan, which is cash-strapped, and potential trouble for India because that cash will be used against India. Now, Why would that happen? Why would they get cash? Why are they being summoned for a meeting with Trump? It could be because US military assets may need a base in Pakistan to continue operations against Iran. And for that privilege, Pakistan might get the money. And that's my thought process. And this is once again, US not taking care of democracies, multicultural democracies around the globe. India never had the opportunity to get the support from the US. All the time, military dictatorships were propped up in the neighborhood. So this is going to be one more instance. And India has also changed its policy. It's become more transactional. And India has survived this in the past. It will continue to survive it in the future. So basically in geopolitics, there are no friends. It's all expediency. Whatever works at a point of time is what will be done. So that's the way I think it works. Now, let us look at the other development. Amazon has announced that it will be reducing the staff numbers as AI adoption increases. I think this is a canary in the coal mine movement for everyone, especially young people who are just graduating or people who have started their career maybe 5 years ago and thinking of starting a family. All the job opportunities are within reach for AI to displace you. And it is really distressing to see that none of the governments worldwide has yet started thinking about how to handle mass unemployment that is coming due to adoption of AI. And I would expect that most of the governments which are actually propped up by industry, which has a lot of money put into lobbying and into elections and into PACs, they would probably see their self-interest in the fact that if people don't have money to buy the goods that they produce, then it will be a problem for that business. So if that selfishness comes in, then potentially we should see lobbying efforts from the industry to get the government to create something which would probably tax the margins coming out of adoption of AI and distribute it to the people so that they can buy the products, or else there will be no companies, right? Because even if the cost becomes very less, if people have no income, no jobs, how are they going to buy it? And forget the growth, right? So for us as retail stockholders, we would probably see a big bump when we are invested in companies like NVDA and Microsoft and Google and all these companies. But that bump would be temporary, because over a period of time, if people don't have money to buy products, the clients of these companies will also fade. So we have to keep that aspect in mind and watch out and see jurisdictions where the government is proactive in tackling the challenge of AI. So that's another thing that we have to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to get into this chart and let us convert this. Yeah, this is a daily chart. I'm going to convert this into a single chart. Okay, so these are daily candles. As you can see, we are still respecting this diagonal line of resistance from a long time ago. And this is our ultimate resistance at the top. And we also have this diagonal line of resistance, which has been coming to us from a long period of time. We have been moving within this area. So I'm thinking that today, our resistance is likely to end up being somewhere around 6,081 for the S&P 500 futures, and the support will be the 9-day exponential at 6,026. That's the range for S&P 500, and we still have the bearish divergence, which has not yet been resolved. So the chances of the price coming down is higher than that of going up. And once again, let me reiterate, the market is thinking that interest rates are not going to change, but Fed Powell will be able to give some feedback on when the rates will be cut. And I am thinking that right now tariff situation is not yet clear, and the inflation numbers are not reflecting what happened since April 5th because of front loading by many companies, which has made sure that we still have inventory. So I think the Fed is going to be very reluctant to project when they are going to cut the rates. And they will be saying that they are watching it closely and they will make a decision as and when required. So I'm thinking once the market opens, we're going to go down. We're going to go back down again. And same is the case with NASDAQ, same bearish divergence. And momentum is also getting slightly lower. And we have MACD, which is already bearish, and sentiment is also getting less bullish with every passing day. Dollar index is straddling this diagonal line of resistance, which has been with us for a very long time. I'm expecting that the dollar will go down further as the hostilities increase. And we have this 10-year yield, which is going down because flight to safety is taking place. And this is a good thing for the US because we have some long-term bond issuing coming up, and it will be slightly better for the US when they renew from a very low interest rate and roll it over and buy new bonds at such high interest rates. So the 10-year at 4.37 is, I think, as good as it gets. And unless the hostilities become even more severe and there's a lot of money flowing into the US bond for safety, I don't see this coming down below 4. So 4% is still very huge, considering that in the past it has been much lesser. So the delta of how much extra the US will have to fund is going to increase, and that's going to put a lot of strain on Social Security, Medicare, and other areas. And we'll also have to see how the big beautiful bill goes through. So that's going to add 4.2 trillion to the deficit according to the budget office. All of that things are not good for the US economy. And yeah, so that's what I have as observations out here. I'm going into the indicators where we look at S&P 500. We ended below this diagonal line of support from yesterday. So the diagonal line of support has now become a diagonal line of resistance. And for today, the resistance is going to be at 6,012.05. And the support is going to be the 21-day exponential, which is sitting at 5,936.63. You can still see the bearish divergence out here. You can see the momentum is dropping. You can see MACD is bearish. You can also see that the bullish sentiment is waning with every passing day, just like we saw in the futures. Likewise for NASDAQ, bearish divergence still intact. Bullish sentiment is waning. And momentum is also dropping. MACD is bearish. And if you look at VIX, VIX is down for a change. It's down minus 2.59%. That is a very good thing for the market, because as the VIX goes down, the price stability comes in. As the VIX goes up, the prices drop. So let us see how it goes through during the day. Now I'm looking at gold, which is down 0.15%. And I had thought of buying gold when we were out here, that is around 13th of June, when we crossed over on top of this, but I waited because I wanted us to confirm by closing above this neckline, and that closing did not happen. So I waited yesterday as well. I think the decision was right, because we have seen that today also gold is dropping a little bit. It's in a holding pattern. Now the question is, are we going to meet a target of 3,718.20? So I would have to look for some other clues. Now I'm going to draw a diagonal line of support. I'm just adding to this a line of support. Now I think we are traveling along this line of support, which will take us to our target over a longer period of time. So that's the way it seems right now. We'll see how data comes in and we'll change our opinion accordingly. Now, if you look at QQQ, it gives us an idea of how the market is going to start. It's going to start a little bit positive as per pre-market participants, but we can never depend on pre-market participants. Many times they are wrong. My personal gut feel is that after the market opens, we'll probably see a little bit of a spike, but after that it's going to drop, and we'll end the day potentially in the red, unless we have some resolution to either the tariff, or if Fed Chief Powell comes and says he's cutting the rates next quarter, something like that. Unless those things happen, I think we're going to end in the red. That said, put call ratio is almost neutral. It's at 0.94. and one is neutral. Now I'm going into AI, where we are looking at NVDA. NVIDIA also has the bearish divergence out here, and we have pre-market gain of 0.28% for NVIDIA, and that is looking pretty decent at this point of time. We just need to see how this works out when the market opens, how long it can go. So far, it has been staying under this diagonal line of resistance, which has been with us all the way from 14th of May onwards. And this was a bull flag. Now, for this bull flag, if I was to draw a target, I would say my target would be from here to here. I'll take this, and the bull flag broke out here. So I'm going to place this out here. So that takes me all the way to around 162.69. We are nowhere close to that. So I am thinking that from a bull flag perspective, we can go all the way up there. But ideally, the way that should happen is a series of bull flags. But when the price keeps on going straight like this into a curve and not as a bull flag, then we have a problem, because that means the momentum is going to drop and we will come down. And that's the way things have happened in the past. If you take the example of this, this was a bull flag. This was a bull flag, and we came up here, right? And then we dropped, and then we went back up again. Now, if we were to consider this to be a bull flag, we went up and we started curving around, and then we fell. So that's something I think might happen out here, because this is definitely not a bull flag. Bull flags are over. So, and also we have the bearish divergence. Now let's look at Meta. Meta is up 0.31% in pre-market trading. Again, we have the bearish divergence out here. And I think that Meta also is somehow struggling to stay afloat. I don't see how it can continue to go up longer, because a lot of things are stacked against it. One is the bearish divergence, first of all. And the second thing is that momentum is pretty high. RSI is close to overbought. So at the most, it could stay under this diagonal line of support, but it may end up consolidating or moving very little every day. That's what I am thinking. And if you look at Google, Google is up 0.43%. Now, I've always been confused with Google, because from a valuation perspective, it's perfect. But there has been a lot of negative talk about Waymo with the advent of Tesla launching its robotaxi. The talk on the town is that Waymo needs a whole lot of preparation, and scaling up is difficult with Waymo, and each vehicle costs a whole lot of money. Whereas with Tesla, scaling is very easy. It doesn't need any specific setup, and it will be less expensive. So that kind of gives the initiative to Tesla, and Tesla valuations have improved as a result. Now, if you look at Google, that could become a problem for it, along with the search engine market, which is being replaced with AI. Perplexity AI is doing a great job with not only bringing the search, but also drawing conclusions and presenting a report. So Google has got its job cut out for itself. It has done a lot on AI, and it's been a pioneering company. So we'll have to see how all of that plays out. So with all those things in mind, when I look at this chart, I do not get a clue as to what is going to happen to Google. It was a laggard among the Mag 7s. So if everybody else goes down, is Google going to be the last one to go down because it has not yet achieved all the growth the other stocks had? That's the question I have in mind. And I don't know who is keeping track of this or who is keeping account of this. And I think that we have a chat from Inf. He says a lot of folks say robotaxi better than Waymo. Yeah, exactly. That's what I have heard. And I don't know for sure how things are going to work out, because we read news reports and they're as reliable as the people who write them. And as a content producer, right, I take as much efforts as possible to fact check and do whatever I can. But there are a lot of people who produce content for clickbait. So we never know what is true and what is false. So let's investigate a little more and get some reliable sources to confirm. There has always been a controversy between LiDAR and camera and all that stuff. So anyway, that's the story about Google. What does the chart tell me? It says that the bullish sentiment is intact. MACD is still bullish, though tending towards the signal line. And momentum is above average, but dropping. So all of that indicates that probably, I think we have the dividend which was paid out on, it's going to be paid out on the 16th of June. So it must have already hit the banks. So we could probably see a little bit of a drop here, maybe with keeping in touch with the overall sentiments. But if push comes to shove, I would say that we have a resistance at 180.12 and we have a support at the 9-day exponential at 176.15. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon is up 0.41%, and Amazon, I think, is going to get more value. We had a reverse head and shoulder target. I think this is more likely to come true for Amazon with a target of 257.69. Again, friends, these are all my personal opinion, not financial advice. Full disclosure, I'm just a retail investor like you. The only reason why I'm doing this channel is because I don't have peer comparison with other retail investors. So I'm trying to build a retail investor community where we can exchange ideas. And I'm leading by example by sharing my ideas and whatever I have learned so far. So if any of you find any mistakes in any analysis, or if you have some new ideas, please share it here for the benefit of everybody and let us build a retail investor community. With that said, Amazon seems to be really bullish, and I will probably do dollar cost averaging into Amazon. First of all, because they seem to be at the leading edge of adopting AI. In the past, they have mentioned that their AI usage has helped them to upgrade their internal systems with less software programmers. And they gave a quantified number, I think $35 million or something that they saved in the process. Now, they also have said that they're going to reduce the employee headcount because they're deploying AI and it's working out well. Just imagine the productivity jump per employee in Amazon. And that's going to go into the bottom line. So I'm thinking that Amazon is going to be valued way more than it is right now. So I'll be dollar cost averaging into Amazon. It's up 0.36% in pre-market trades. And I think with this, with the current latest news that we have, I would be very happy to dollar cost average. For us today, the resistance is going to be at 215.68. Presently, pre-market, we are at 215.60. Assuming that we break through this, then our resistance for today is going to be 218.53. And the support is the 9-day exponential at 213.11. So this is what it seems to be. Sentiment is bullish, but reducing gradually. MACD is also looking decent, but it could turn into a bearish side any moment. Momentum is above average, but it's dropping. So when the market opens, we'll have to see how this positive sentiment translates. Apple is up 0.25% in pre-market trades. We're going to have support at 192.30, and we are going to have a very strong resistance out here at 199.23, where the horizontal resistance and the diagonal resistance intersect. And that's going to be a difficult area for Apple. And as you can see, bullish sentiment has waned. MACD is bearish. Momentum is also below average. So it's a tough ordeal for Apple right now. And with the tariff issues and also Trump giving an ultimatum, don't manufacture in India, manufacture it in the US, Apple is faced with this big problem. If it manufactured in US, nobody's going to pay $3,500 for an iPhone. Forget US. Worldwide, nobody will pay that kind of money. And India will definitely impose tariffs if Apple exports made in US iPhone, so they can kiss goodbye to the Indian market. So Apple is trying to resolve these things. It will take a little while. Fundamentally a great company, but it's facing a lot of headwinds right now. Microsoft is the next one that we are seeing out here. And it's down 0.04%, a very strong company based on subscriptions and very sticky customer base, and also a good play into AI. So overall, it's a nice blue chip. Again, as I mentioned in the other chart as well, these are not bull flags. Bull flags typically go down and then they break out on the upside. So whenever you see a formation like this, it could break down anytime. So I'm thinking that anytime it could break down, a huge bearish divergence is there. MACD is bearish. Momentum is pretty high and the RSI is overbought and the bullish sentiment is waning. So Microsoft has got to give sometime soon. Then we have Tesla, which is up 0.42%. This is on the back of all the positive coverage for robotaxi versus Waymo. The main proposition for Tesla is that it's not an automobile company, it's more of an AI and robotics company. And I have been asking for evidence towards that end. How soon can Tesla demonstrate its capability in robotaxi and robots? That's a big question. And I think if you also do the comparison, take it further ahead, you can say that Tesla has got a better safety record, but it's not been fully autonomous. It has always had human driver, whereas the data that we are seeing with Waymo is totally driverless. So that's a lot of difference out there. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but I'm not bullish on Tesla. I think the brand damage is already done and the political toxicity is going to be difficult to get out of. And there is headwinds globally. In many countries, Tesla is despised. So one has to be careful with Tesla. I have shorted Tesla, which is in the red, of course. But we'll see what happens when the market opens. You can see that the sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is also just about below average. So we'll have a resistance at around 329.14, and right now we are at 317.74. Therefore, the support is going to be at around 298.40. Oracle, it's a silent giant. It's building up very nicely. And you can see here, we are in the process of building another bull flag. So at this point of time, I would think that I would give the benefit of doubt to Oracle that it's going to create a bull flag and then break out on the upside. But I personally don't touch Oracle because my wife works for Oracle and they have trading windows and other things. So I don't want to get into that trouble. So personally, I do not invest in Oracle. That's the only share that I keep myself away from. Then we have AMD, which is up 1.49%. Both the GPU companies are doing extremely well, but I think that AMD will have to consolidate and test this support again, which is at 125.03 before it goes up. At this point of time, sentiment is quite bullish. Momentum is also pretty good. MACD is bullish. So everything looks in favor for AMD. And it has had a huge drop so far, so it's bound to go up. Now let me draw a line of resistance for us, which I think is going to hold. I would hazard that somewhere out here is a line of resistance for us today, and I think we jumped down from there yesterday, and this line of resistance is at 131.01. If we break that, then we have to validate it by closing above it for another day, and then we should be fine. That will be converted into a support. SMCI is up 0.60% in pre-market trades. AVGO, that is Broadcom, is down 0.08% in pre-market trades. Very narrow range of trading. Resistance is going to be 250.06 for today. I'm going to mark that red, and the support is going to be 247.07 for today. So these are the two ranges that I'm talking about. And then if you look at Palantir is up 0.72% in pre-market trades. And I think that this again is not a bull flag. So I'll be wary until we create a bull flag. If we create a bull flag, I'm happy with that. So let us see how today transpires. But right now, I think the valuations are very high and Palantir value is very stretched. So you can see that the bullish sentiment is also very low at this point of time. SMH, semiconductor ETF, is up 0.51% in pre-market trades. We had a couple of bullish targets out there, but at this point of time, I would pay more attention to the bearish divergence. Say something is wrong, and chances of stock price falling is pretty high. And we have Tempus AI, which is down 0.93%. And We have support, which is the 9-day exponential at 68.51. Right now we are at 69.40. And our resistance is going to be somewhere around 76.69. I usually look at Rigetti, quantum stock. It's up 1.48% in pre-market trades, but the fact that it fell below this diagonal line of support makes it a bit inferior at this point of time. Time for quantum computing has not yet come. They got a little bit of boost from Jensen Huang, but I think it has faded off now. SMR continues to be doing well. It's up 3.31% this morning. Yesterday also it was up 3% and odd, but then it dropped. So today also it may probably go up and then come back down again. But overall the trend is upwards. Again, out here, I don't think we have bull flag anymore. The bull flag was out here. I think it has been resolved and the targets have been met. So we are in a blue sky still, and we'll have to see what happens to this stock when the market opens. I definitely don't think that upward movement is a given. AV is a drone company, and that should start picking up given the war clouds gathering. Right now it's at 190.70 in pre-market trades. It's up 1.04%. And we have a resistance out here, which is at 190.30. And right now the stock price is at 190.70. So this 190.30 ends up becoming a support, and 190.70 is the place where we are at. Therefore, the resistance has to be above that. I'm going to draw a line of resistance out here. I think this is going to be our line of resistance, and it's going to be at 202.93. So that's about it, my friends. That's what we have for AI. Now let's look at genomics. A little bit of what's happening in genomics is quite important for our genomics investors. Prime is up 0.93%. Intelia is up 1.25%. Caribou Bio is up 2.59%. Beam Therapeutics is up 1.08%. Still range bound. Upper bound is 1750 and lower bound is minor line of support 15.80. The MACD is almost ready to become bearish. Momentum is below average and the sentiment is mildly bullish. Not much to go by. Altimmune is, come on, Altimmune, where are you? Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades. I'm surprised that Altimmune didn't get the benefit of the market bounce yesterday. Their pemvidutide is going to be a game changer, but we are not getting any news about pemvidutide. So hopefully when they have a presentation in some conference or the other, we might get some information and that could be a catalyst. Till then, we are going to be consolidating sideways. Next, let's look at Verve. Verve is down 1.14% after jumping significantly yesterday on news that Eli Lilly has picked up Verve. So I would recommend that if you haven't seen my video on it yet, please check it out on the homepage of the channel. I released it yesterday and it gives you all the details of the deal. And this is going to enter into the same zone that Bluebird Bio did when private equity took them over. So we'll have some similar kind of a situation. So we'll have to actively look for data on that. Editas is up 0.47% in pre-market trades. And it's looking decent. Sentiment is bullish. MACD is bullish. Momentum is above average and proceeding upwards. So Editas is looking good. Illumina is down 0.41%. And we are almost at the edge of this huge area of supply. Once we clear that, then this will become the area of supply and probably we may go sideways. So we'll have to watch out for it. And then after Illumina, we have CRISPR Therapeutics, which is up 1.61% in as of $1.61 yesterday. That's around 3.82%. And today, pre-market, it's up 1.27%. CRISPR is looking wonderful. Sentiment is absolutely bullish. MACD is nicely bullish. And there's plenty of room on the RSI for today. So I think CRISPR Therapeutics is going to gather more strength. And we'll have to identify a line of resistance. I think the line of resistance is likely to be somewhere in this region. And this is going to be 46.31, which is the resistance for CRISPR Therapeutics. Allogene is flat in pre-market trades. Grail happens to be up. Wait a second. Let us look at this diagonal line and look at the pattern and see if there is any possibility of a bullish pattern. No, there is no reverse head and shoulder. Okay, so Grail has been up a steep V curve, and it has been punctuated with sideways and downward movement, but generally the trend has been upward, with this diagonal line of support being a main anchor. And for today, Grail in pre-market session is at 41.81. It is down 0.57%. And the 9-day exponential at 41.45 is going to give support. The 9-day exponential is the red line that we have here. And it's going to be followed by the yellow line, which is at 40.02. Both of them are going to give support to the pricing today. Then PSCB is in a world of hurt. It is neutral in pre-market trade. And we have a support out here. I think the support should always be green. So it's at $1.21. I'll put the support here in green. Then 1 second. So where we are. Okay, Lilly. I want to look at Eli Lilly because I had picked up Eli Lilly, and this is a regression channel that I have. And the regression channel shows that we're going to go back towards the mean if we go above or if we go below. So I had around 300 Lilly. I sold off one of them, 100 of them, and I have the remaining 200. And probably I might end up selling them today at a profit and booking my profits. So I'm eagerly looking forward to the market opening and us getting a little bit more so that I can sell it off in profit and then wait and watch from the sidelines. So friends, that's all I have for genomics. And I want to check with you guys if you need anything that you want me to analyze, or if you have any ideas that you'd like to share with me and the rest of the community. So it's time to put it in the comments. If not, then I think I'm done with the day. I'll go have my breakfast and come back and do some trading. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me, and you have a